It says preview and preview. Oh, hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome to the 360 Marketing Squad. Hi. And of course, wait, why did Jen just put her hand on the
Sorry, I'm moving things. It's like things popping up.
Legit. It was like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh. Why would you do that?
It's my whole screen. There's like whole.
I was literally like, are you trying to high five me right now? Can you please stop trying to high five me?
High-fiving.
Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome to the
to work
360 Marketing Squad. We are officially back, and today we're talking about how you can build your social media audience. Each one of us, as you guys know, have our own followings. One on Instagram, Facebook, blogging, chatbots, so much. So if you guys have any questions, now is the time to go ahead and hop in. So where are you guys watching from? Let us know. I'm in San Diego. Jen.
I'm up in Napa, hence the hotel room and the randomness.
Mike.
I'm in St. Louis, and it's not raining. It's snowing. We have like a foot of snow coming. You kind of almost can see it behind me.
Wow.
I don't believe that. I think that is just you bought something from Amazon and you put that behind the curtain. And Amanda, our dear Amanda, where are you, our digital nomad?
So right this minute, I'm sitting in Nags Head, North Carolina, and then as of not tomorrow, but I set out on a journey tomorrow, and then the following day I will be in Lexington, Kentucky.
Oh, well, good. All right, so if you guys are just tuning in, let us know where you're watching from. Would love to see you. Let's go and take a look at the comments real quick. I want to see who's here. Oh, Jeff's here. Jeff!
Wait, which Jeff?
Jeff C. There's only one Jeff in my life. Jeff C.
Like the Jeff.
The Jeff. The important Jeff that there should be, right?
Jeff.
He's Jeff C. And we're
Jeff
not.
C. That's right. All right, you guys. So sometimes when it comes to social media, people always say, well, I haven't built my social media audience just yet. So should I even jump in, right? Instagram has been around for so long. Facebook has been around for so long. Should I even jump in? So what would your advice be? Who wants to take it? Mike, take it away.
2 words.
Amanda.
Just 2 words. And then I can just mic drop and like walk away and be done. My 2 words? Heck yeah.
I'm going to use that as a gift for everything. Heck yeah.
Yeah, that's my professional digital marketing social media advice. If you haven't started and you feel like the barrier to entry is too high, it's not. If you start now and you start with all of the lovely tactics that we will be sharing, then you will be just fine. But it does take time and it doesn't happen overnight. And if it does happen overnight, that usually means you're like a one-hit wonder and you either did something to catch attention that's great or really embarrassing. So slow growth is good, but heck yeah, you should start and you should still try.
And what about blogging? Should you start blogging in 2019?
You should totally start blogging in 2019. And just like with social media, you should be working to create an audience, whether it's through the content or the social posts. But the one thing I'll say is don't be scared or intimidated by what other people have already accomplished.
I don't know,
because they've been doing it longer.
Mike sets the bar really high.
Yes, he does.
Only when it comes to creating content, but not on social. You ladies have me beat in many different ways, on many different platforms, and that's totally okay because my job is to create and find my tribe and my audience on whatever platform or platforms that might be. And for those of you watching, it's the same thing. You can go to Facebook or Instagram or YouTube or whatever platform you want and find the audience that you're looking for and start building it and connecting with those people. Even though I guarantee there are people who are already on that platform who have a bigger audience, that's okay. There's room for all of us.
And that's the thing too. I think it's really important that you don't compare yourself to other people. I mean, I think we've all been in a situation with clients or bosses that are like, well, our competitor has 20,000 Twitter followers. Why do we only have 3,000? And it's like, it's not a competition because the long and short of it, and yes, obviously we know what the topic is for today's show about growing your followers and your audience and that sort of thing, but it's about growing them with the right people. And just because somebody has 20,000 followers doesn't mean that's 20,000 potential conversions. They could be 20,000 useless followers that do absolutely nothing for your business aside from be there and allegedly follow you. So I actually just had this conversation. I'm here in Napa because I was speaking at a conference this morning for multifamily properties, so like apartments and condo complexes, long short-term rental type places. And the whole 10,000 followers on Instagram thing came up, and I'm like, if you only have capacity for 3,000 residents at your property, why would you have 10,000 followers on Instagram? That's ridiculous. Like, if you only have capacity for 3,000 people, you shouldn't expect to have 3 times that in terms of followers. Not saying you can't, but that shouldn't be a reasonable expectation. So you have to put everything in the context of, your business, not comparing yourself to anybody else, not comparing yourself to other businesses, whether it's same industry or not, and looking to see how are you growing year over year? How are your conversions growing year over year, month over month? That's really what's more important in the long run.
That is very true. One of the things that I get all the time in terms of Facebook and why do our competitors have more followers than us? And it's really, well, how long have they been on Facebook? Maybe they've been on Facebook a lot longer. And even if you take a peek at their post, you don't know how much they're spending behind the scenes to get that boost posted, to drive those views and engagements. And so focus on what your audience needs. And when you do that, they're most likely to go ahead and follow you. So cool.
Yeah, because clearly growing an audience is important, right? We want to have more people buying from us, talking to us, and those kinds of things. But when we're talking about comparing, I think it's usually a lot more helpful to compare engagement, and not just raw engagement, but the engagement rate, right? How much engagement are you getting on your social activity as it compares to your total number of followers today? And there's a lot of fun tools out there that'll show you really easily, right, how you're doing on, say, Facebook compared to your competitors, if that's what you want to look at, but not just your followers, but the engagement rate. You might be getting bananas more engagement on your posts than your nearest competitors, which is a good indicator that you might actually be doing something right when they're not.
Love it. Cool. You guys take it away. I'm producing.
You keep producing. You're doing a great job. But the point that you made about engagement, it can't be, we can't harp on that enough. It's more important for you to have a small following of people with high engagement and continue to leverage that momentum that you'll be getting through your social channels from having a high engagement rate versus what I have seen in the past where people have either purchased followers or engaged in tactics that have really exploded and grown their following base with a really low quality of follower. Their engagement rates are really, really low, and that hurts them. It's so much harder for them to achieve everything and actually get up to speed the way that their competitors are if the quality is diluted.
Love it. Cool. Well, hey, you guys, if you have any questions on how to grow your social media audience, this is the place to be. Come hang out with us. It's a Friday. You've got all 4 of us. Take advantage of it. Shout out to Mitch Wilson, who is joining us. He is in Ohana? Oh, no, that means family. You know what? Mike, screen's on you. Right. Take it away.
It's a nice hi to Mitch. He's in Hawaii, and he is one of our 360 members, and he had some very, very valuable input in our membership in the 360 group. So it's a nice compliment when he tunes in and is watching with us.
Very true. And we've also got Sebastian, Robert, Keith, Mary, Alicia, in addition to Jeff. So you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Cool. So where would you
I'll share one of my personal stories because I think this is really germane to what we were talking about. Back in the day, when Google Plus was still a thing, I got listed into one of the recommended categories. So whenever anybody joined Google Plus back then, they could pick a particular category of things that they were interested in, whether it was sports or hobbies or whatever the case might be. And then Google Plus would actually show you people that you should follow. So I got listed, I think in probably the technology category, maybe something else. And I got tons of people following me as a result of that. I actually built an audience of 250,000 people on Google Plus, but they didn't know me. They were just starting on the platform. The only reason they picked me is because Google Plus said, hey, pick Mike Alton along with Guy Kawasaki and Peg Fitzpatrick and a bunch of other people that they'd probably never heard of. So I had a big audience, but they weren't an engaged audience. They weren't there for any reason other than somebody said they should follow me. And so to the point that you girls were making earlier, when you have highly engaging content on social media or a blog, wherever the case might be, when you have people who are talking about what it is that you're talking about on your property, on your social channel, that's going to get the attention of somebody else. It's like being the popular person at a party, right? And somebody else walks into the room and says, why is everybody talking to this guy? I don't know this guy, but he's surrounded by people that are talking to him. Maybe I should go over. Maybe he's sitting at a U-shaped table
with
food. They want to go see him.
Oh, I was waiting for it. Sorry, I couldn't wait. I was just like, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. You did it. I love you.
Brought it in. Brought it home. So yeah, that's why engagement's so important. And using those kinds of tactics that kind of promise a lot of followers, whether you're paying for them outright or you're using some kind of thing, a tool, whatever the case might be, that just brings you tons of followers. That number looks nice. I mean, I'm not going to lie. It looks nice having 180,000 followers today on Google+. Notice it's not 250,000 anymore. Having that huge number on Google+ looks nice, but the reality is it doesn't do anything for me.
And that's the thing. I remember when I, first started speaking on some of the bigger stages, teaching Instagram, because I was known for that. At the time, I think I had like 3,000 followers on Instagram. And I would get called out at almost every conference by someone who would, put their hand up and they'd be like, how are you qualified to teach us Instagram marketing when you only have 3,000 followers? And like literally on stage in front of a room full of people, like nothing like calling a girl out. But it was always the same thing. I would always address it the same way, which was that I would rather have 3,000 followers who listen to everything I have to say, who read all of my blog posts, who are engaging with my content, and who are genuinely going to potentially be, paying customers for consultations or strategy or whatever it is, or going to buy my books or those sorts of things, versus having 10,000 people who just followed me because someone said I'm the person to follow. And and that was the thing. I'm like, and I would always challenge them. I'd say, you're right. I only have 3,000 followers, but go look at my engagement. My engagement was in, 10, 15, 20, 30% range a lot of the time. I would have really good engagement, lots of comments. And now that we have analytics, granted I have a lot more followers now, but now that we have all the analytics, I can literally pull it up and be like, I got, 120 views on my blog post yesterday, all from Instagram. How many blog post views did you get from Instagram yesterday with your 100,000 followers? So it's one of those things, right? I'm like, no, I'm not coming to you. Exactly. I mean, now. But that's the thing. It's like if people will challenge you on anything. They will challenge you on, your follower count. They'll challenge you on how long you've been there. They're going to challenge you on how long, you've been posting certain types of content. Like whatever it is, someone's always going to want to challenge you. So you just have to believe that you are creating the right audience, creating the right content for that audience, and that your audience will grow accordingly. To Mike's point, yes, we want a bigger audience. Bigger audience means more people to potentially sell to make more money, to build our businesses. Obviously, that's the end goal in some capacity, requires the growth, but not something where you need to get 20,000 followers overnight. Or if you're a relatively small brand, don't expect to have 50,000 followers by the end of the year. That's just not realistic. If a major company comes out, yeah, sure. Like a celebrity joins Instagram and they're like all of a sudden have 200,000 followers in 24 hours. They're a celebrity. If you're not a celebrity, you can't expect those kind of results.
If you're not a celebrity, wake up.
Exactly. Even if you wrote a book, it's still not going to bring you to 100,000 followers. I was so mad
Jen
when
may
I
have a comment.
I'm like, get the censors out. No, I would honestly, and Mike Stelzner knows I love him. I have disagreed with Mike in numerous situations and in various conversations to his face and in my blog or on videos. And I completely disagree. I think there is a lot of, passive behavior, especially in Facebook. The problem with Facebook, and I'm guilty of lurking as well, where if you like something, then all of your audience and all of your friends and family are going to see you like something. So during political seasons, we tend not to like or engage with a lot of content because it's going to tell everybody that we liked or engaged with that content, and we don't necessarily want that being shared. So Facebook has gotten a bit more passive in some ways. But that doesn't mean that I'm not going to stop and watch a Facebook watch video or a video that is 5 or 10 minutes long. It doesn't mean I'm not going to engage with Facebook Live and leave comments. It doesn't mean I'm not going to leave comments with my friends. And that's just on Facebook. On other platforms, it's not passive. I don't think Instagram is passive at all. People aren't scrolling and ignoring. They're still double tapping and liking and leaving lots of comments. And in, the direct messages and, even Facebook Messenger, like, it's not passive at all. I think if anything, we've gotten more selective in how we actively engage, but I think activity in that way is actually up, that we choose, I really want to act, this way with these people or these brands. I want to leave comments. I want to share my opinion. I want to be heard, because we live in this hugely saturated online world where we don't get a lot of opportunity to be heard. I want to be heard. I want to leave the comments. I want to have the dialogue, but we're just more selective in how we do it. So I disagree with Mr. Stelzman, just saying.
I think actually, instead of passive social media, what we're seeing more and more of is dark social media. Zuckerberg said himself over a year ago that Facebook saw huge potential in groups and communities and was going to do a lot to help grow that. And they have. They've added units and all other kinds of fun features, which means more people are using groups. We're using a group with 360 marketing, and more people are spending time in a group, which can't be seen outside of the group, not by other people and not by other tools. So nobody knows outside of Facebook today how many people are engaging and how much engagement is happening inside of groups. And as a corollary to that, inside Messenger, like you mentioned, Jen, a lot of people are having these group conversations now and even group video calls through Messenger. Nobody else sees that if you're not in the group.
Very true. It was funny too, because after I was watching Mike's live stream today, I was like, even for Lights Camera Live, like the show that I do, sometimes the engagement, it spikes up or sometimes it's a lot lower. But what I always know is that by the time I'm done live streaming, I'll get a flood of messages in the inbox. It just happens because some people don't want to engage publicly. They'd rather ask you their question privately, either because they just want to be private or they don't want to sound like they're dumb, right? Like they're like, oh, this might be a dumb question, but I just wanted to ask you. So good. Amanda, please.
That's what we're seeing in real life as well. I mean, again, like all of us are speakers. We've all gone to conferences, and inevitably you always get a question or two live, like from, like the stage, people will ask you questions. But when you leave the stage, everyone floods you with all their personal stuff. They come up to you and want to talk to you one-on-one and ask you their individual question that they don't want to put out there for the whole public world to see. And that's what we're seeing, to Mike's point and to Steph's point as well, is that on social media, that's what people are doing. They don't necessarily want to broadcast their question for the entire world to see, but they want your help. They want your response. They want your customer service, whatever it is. They're just coming at it in a different way because there are these kind of dark channels, whether it's the groups, the direct messages, private communications that are going on outside of the public forum, but that doesn't mean that's not happening, and you're not going to get those things if you don't have the public forum. You need the live videos and the public posts and the content that allows people to trust you to reach out to you privately for that support.
I just want to jump on the heels of what Jen is saying there when it comes to people not necessarily wanting to engage publicly, some people are more comfortable one-on-one. But when it comes to growing your follower base or growing that engagement, one thing that I kind of put this out to clients is that you might not be comfortable on Twitter. You might not be comfortable on Pinterest. You might not be comfortable on certain platforms, but make an effort to make yourself available in those different forums so that people have an opportunity to reach out and engage with you on the platform that they are most comfortable with. So even if you're not super active on one platform or another, I mean, I am a train wreck at Twitter. I'm a Twitter train wreck. I know it. I'm using Agora Pulse to get better at it. Thank you. But I'm a train wreck there. So, and I'm getting better at engaging and responding over there because there are people that will engage with me on Twitter They never see a single one of my Facebook posts. They never see a LinkedIn post. They never see anything on Instagram. And God forbid they look at Snapchat. It's not going to happen. But they're on Twitter. So by opening up that channel and being present there, even if I'm not perfect there, it still opens up an opportunity for your community to engage. And to Jen's point, what I feel we're seeing more and more is people starting to reach out and engage in more of those one-on-one conversations in a comfortable environment that they are most familiar with, rather than, like you said, like the public posts and everything being wide out in the open. I think as technology has been evolving and as social media has been evolving and as people are just getting more and more and more comfortable with having this piece of tech and back in the day, remember when everybody's Facebook account was like private, the idea of sharing a photo of yourself with strangers was just like so violating. Yeah. It's evolved over time. And I think with that evolution, I think people have become more comfortable with being able to reach out to an Instagram expert via your direct message, via a DM. Whereas, it's not as violating as someone randomly getting a hold of your phone number and texting you. That's a different level. But somebody responding to one of your stories in Instagram, or somebody responding to a tweet with a direct message to say, yes, I agree with that, or hey, can you point me in the right direction or tell me more? I feel like people have slowly become more and more confident and comfortable with that. Anyway, the whole point I'm trying to make here is that if you want to grow your follower base, growing it is great. Don't be relying on the vanity metrics. And when it comes to comparing anything, you are comparing against your own benchmark, your own self. So you're looking at your own numbers, not necessarily your competition. Yes, you can't ignore them. Yes, you still need to pay attention, but you're comparing against yourself. You're setting your own benchmarks, and you're incrementally and instrumentally improving in each area to open up more opportunities for people to be comfortable enough to engage with you. And whether that engagement is a like, a heart, a DM, a view of one of your videos, there's so many different ways of people engaging with you, but you need to be providing the opportunity for people to engage with you. And over time, the more love and energy you put into it, the more your audience will grow as you connect with the right people. Just please, don't rely on vanity metrics, and don't just go for numbers. Go for quality.
Very cool.
I love that because we see that so often ourselves as the followers, right? We will want to reach out to somebody personally, and in our minds, they're bigger, they're higher, they're bolder than we are. And a fun personal example, you all know who LeVar Burton is, right? From reading Rainbow and Star Trek. Well, I reached out to him once on Twitter because he was talking about reading like he always does. And I asked him, like, what advice do you have for a new parent? I think my daughter was 2 at the time or something like that. And he responded, he said, I'm going to get this wrong, but he basically said, read to her, read with her, read in front of her. I think was the 3 things, basically reading around her in a lot of different ways, which was really cool advice. And it was really impactful and awesome that he even took the time to respond to me, right? That was my mindset at the time. So now if I put myself in his shoes, not that I'm trying to make myself out to be a celebrity, but other people reach out to me all the time for advice on things that they think I can help them with. And I need to do that same thing to them. I need to provide them with the answers that they're looking for. Like you said, Amanda, show them the love and the respect and the encouragement that I can. And that will have an impact long term. I may not know what it is that, may not go any further than that one individual. I don't know, but it's going to have a good positive impact down the road.
The one struggle that I do have is that I constantly have people telling me not to do anything that I'm not charging money for. Like not giving. Let me clarify that. to not give my time to people who are not paying for it, because time is something that I don't have an infinite resource of, and I really need to hunker down and focus on the objectives that are revenue generating for me. So if I'm doing activities throughout the day that are not contributing to generating revenue, then I need to rethink that. However, the one thing that I always have done, and I probably always will do, is if somebody reaches out to me, it usually goes if somebody recommends me in another group, or somebody says, Amanda is the expert in Facebook ads for real estate, or Amanda is the expert in chatbots, you should talk to her. If that person then comes to me and says, I would love to chat, I'm not going to say, okay, but you have to pay me, a few $100s for an hour. I'm not going do that. And don't worry, I don't charge that. But I'm not yet. I'm not going to charge them money. It's kind of like the whole, hey, can I pick your brain? That is a big faux pas to be asking people because people don't have time for you to pick their brain. I know. But when I've been recommended by someone and someone has reached out to me, if there's a way that I can just have a 15-minute video call with them, get to know them, get to know their problem, give them any input I can, that's a relationship that has been started, and that is a relationship that will grow over time. And it has proven very, very valuable to me, either through that connection, through our mutual connections, but just being able to know that I have helped somebody and it will come back to me in the future. I really feel strongly about doing that. But that has helped me, that tactic has helped me grow my network. And I'm not talking vanity metric numbers. It has helped me grow my network with valuable people that I know. I've now met them face to face, and that I know how I can help them, or I know other people in my network who can help them. And it's really become the quality of my network, even though I don't have the numbers that you'll see. I don't have Mike's numbers or Jen's numbers or Stephanie's numbers, but I have a network that has so much quality in behind it that it is worth my time to invest back into it. It keeps giving back to me. So
you mean like networking to increase your net worth? Why does that sound so familiar? All right, you guys. So here's another question that we have is, what tools do you use, if any, to build your audience if you're not doing it organically? Or you could be, but there's still probably some tools that you're using to help manage all that.
So I don't really use any tools, to be completely honest. I think tools within social media to, get your content out there, any of those sorts of things that lend to building an audience. I am the world's biggest hater of anything that does like the follow, unfollow tactics, or that will automatically go out and find people to follow, or that will automatically generate comments on things, that sort of stuff. So I would never recommend any tools like that. Now, again, we have a bit of a luxury that we're kind of in a public forum where people find us in a very, variety of reasons that they come and follow us, and we don't necessarily have to go out and find them. But one of the things that I do on Instagram to get new followers, and I use this tactic repeatedly, is I call it stalking a hashtag. So for me, my target audience is someone who wants to learn social media, someone who needs a consultant to help them with their social media strategy. A lot of these people are attending social media conferences. So what I will do is I will actually find all the hashtags for all the conferences that are going on, even the ones I'm not attending. Like, I will stalk the ones that I'm attending, but also if I'm not going to SM Camp in Victoria, or if I'm not at Inbound, or if I'm not at Content Marketing World, or whatever it is, I will still follow those hashtags. And I literally go into Instagram, I find the hashtag, and I scroll and double tap everybody's content on that hashtag. So what happens is I take 10 minutes, 20 minutes, depending on how much content is on there. I do this for the days that the conference is going on. So it's a limited period of time for me. And by the end of that conference, I've gained at least a dozen, if not upwards of hundreds of new followers from that conference, because I'm not harassing them. I'm not bugging them. I'm not telling them how awesome I am. I'm not spamming them. I'm simply liking their content, which gives them an endorphin rush that then they go and say, who is this person who's liking all my content?
Oh my God, it's Jen Herman.
Wait,
exactly.
So you mean to tell me that you're not leaving comments on their photos saying, hey, I love your stuff. Great photos. Contact me so we can do work together.
Don't do that.
Right? Yeah. Not doing that.
Ugh.
But yeah, but I go through and I just like their content. And in doing that, if I am somebody of value to them, because they're going to see my name multiple times in their notifications, they're going to come over. They're like, oh, maybe she's at the conference. They realize I'm not, but they look at my bio, which has been well crafted, and then they're going to follow me. You can do the same thing, even if it's for you, not a conference type thing, although most industries have conferences that you can do it, but it could be hobby related. If you know that your audience is big into, sailboating or something, you can go find all the hashtags, or there are races going on, or there are events going on around the world, and you just have to go find that content and like it. That's all you have to do. It takes a little bit of time. You can do it while you're standing in line at Starbucks or at the grocery store, or, on your lunch break, or when the kids have gone to bed and you're waiting for them to fall asleep. whatever it is, you can scroll through and just go through like that content, and you're going to get new people's eyes on your content, but they're targeted because they have a relevant interest in what you do.
That is brilliant. For those of you guys that missed that, let me just go ahead and recap what the queen of Instagram just said. Oh, and she's directly above me. She said that if you attend conferences, just go ahead and put a list together of all the different conference hashtags. Engage with the people there because that's probably your target audience. So brilliant move over there, and it's all done manually, is what you're saying.
Manual, 100% manual.
Okay.
I'd also love to summarize what Jen said. So Jen stalks people, and it works.
And it works.
So I'll jump in here with tools that I use or don't use. I don't use any growth tools. I have the same opinion as Jen, where it needs to be done organically. It needs to be done manually by a real human behind everything. If you're using any automation tools to grow your audience, I don't necessarily agree with that. Where I do agree with it, and so Jen gave a really good Instagram example. I'm going to give you a couple Facebook examples. So a personal and a professional. So in a personal way, I recommend you to get people to follow you. You actually have to put the work in. You have to put the effort in. So go and engage with people. And when I say engage, go and find their content. Go and like it. Go and comment on it. Watch their video. Take the time to go and give somebody your attention span. That's the most valuable currency you have online right now. Give your attention span, and you'll be rewarded back with those who are also mutually interested in your content as well. So just in order to do that, you need to find your tribe. You need to find the people who are most interested in your mutual interests or how you can mutually benefit each other. And I find that Facebook groups is the mecca of that right now. So engaging in Facebook groups in areas where you can provide value, you can help out, you can answer questions, or where you can ask people for more clarification on the information they're providing. But engage with people in Facebook groups, and that will help you grow your network on the personal side. On the professional side, I'm just going to throw it out there. You actually do need to spend money. You need to do Facebook advertising to some degree. You need to provide really good content. You need to market it really well. Use Facebook ads to reach a broader audience. And then from that, remarket to them with additional content, and make sure that you're inviting people to like your page or engaging back with them, or as a page, as a business, engaging and responding to people. So it really does take the proactive effort, but the difference is, as an individual, you can do it by building one-on-one relationships with people, by engaging with mutual interest content. Professionally, you do need to spend the money. If you're sitting back and trying to grow your network and grow your audience as a business, it's becoming increasingly difficult to do it in a purely organic setting. So when it comes to what tools do I use to do this, I am doing everything manually on the platform itself. But I already mentioned earlier, I do use Agora Pulse for basically keeping everything streamlined into one area, to be able to keep my inbox zero, to be able to see all of the comments that are coming in from, I don't want to log in to 3 or 4 different platforms to try and keep up with engaging with people who, when you pay the money, when you spend money and you put energy and effort out into an advertising system, people are going to engage and people are responding. Keeping up with that as a single person, like not having a team behind you, it's hard. And that's why once I kind of discovered or figured out how I can be using a tool like Agora Pulse, there are tons of other tools you can be using. I recommend that one. Then it just makes, it pulls it all. It's like getting clarity and being able to see it all in front of you and being able to respond and engage with it. And it has been a game changer for me personally, for being able to actually grow that audience and really be able to attract the right people and engage with the right people. So just to recap, on the personal side, I recommend using Facebook groups and really engaging with Facebook groups to build those one-on-one relationships. And then on the professional side, invest some money into Facebook advertising. So that's my little recap, more specifically about the Facebook world.
Cool. I'm actually going to go ahead and piggyback on yours if real quick, Mike. If you are engaging in Facebook groups, there are a couple of things that you can do to actually grow your audience or your followers organically. Because here's the thing. If you're dropping knowledge bombs left and right, people are like, who is that? I'm going to go click on their name. So this is what I do. I changed the cover photo on my personal profile page to promote my Facebook group, because they're like, oh, what is this that she's advertising in this big, huge real estate? They click on it, they see that they could go ahead and join my group. Other things that you can go ahead and do is on your personal profile, you know where they have like that little grid where you could put like 4 feature photos? Yo, I just did, here's my lead magnet. Boom, right there. So as they're scrolling through, they see cover photo, hey, right? Scroll down, lead magnet, and it works. Now, I feel like I'm probably the only one that's using a tool, but whatever. I'm going to show you. I'm going to tell you. Okay, so get ready. Write this down. It's called Group Funnels. And I've been using Group Funnels for my Facebook group to really to keep the answers that I ask for pending members. So I'll ask pending members, what are you interested in about social media? Why do you want to be a part of this group? And if you want my lead magnet, put in your email address. So with Group Funnels, it'll go ahead and save those answers for me, right? Put it into a Google spreadsheet. Oh my God, you guys gotta love it when I come back on the show. So I put it on a spreadsheet.
Oh my goodness, I love you, girl.
Oh God, I love you guys. Hey, welcome back, Anna. She's like, I'm back. Okay. Anyways, yeah, so you use Group Funnels. It'll put it in a spreadsheet, and then it'll go to ConvertKit. So those are those are my hacks. Can I please get like some laugh emojis right now? Like, oh my God. Danny, thank you, Danny. Danny swooped in at the right time. Okay, Mike, all you. I tossed it up for you like perfectly.
All of that, Mike.
Well, I was going to say, Amanda's advice was all about, if you like it, put a ring on it, right? You got to work for that engagement. Yeah.
Too soon.
So, no, I use tools, but I'm going to cheat a little bit because the first tool that I'm going to tell you isn't a tool at all.
Now you're cheating on it. Come on, Mike.
I know. I'm a cheater. No, my tool is content, and you guys all use content too, right? The content that you create, whether it's written or video or whatever the case might be, that's how you demonstrate your authority. That's how you demonstrate your expertise. That's how you help people, and particularly on video. That's how you create know, like, and trust. And without that, it doesn't matter what else you're trying to do. So you start with the content. That's where I start. I create buckets and buckets and buckets of written content. And then that's when I get some of the automation tools going on. I use Pulse. I use Tailwind. And I'll use those tools to help me distribute that content everywhere. We've already talked about Agorapulse, so let me talk about Tailwind for a second because this is really awesome. I'll create a piece of content on my blog, and then I'll use Tailwind to make sure that that particular piece of content is being shared to Pinterest on multiple locations in multiple boards over time. So I've created the content, I use the tool to distribute it, and now I get 10 to 20 new followers on Pinterest every single day. People who are seeing my pins, they're seeing my content, they're saying, who is this Mike Alton person? And why is he writing about WordPress and blogging and all these different things? And I don't know why, Stephanie, when you were like pretending to be somebody looking at your profile, I thought you were like Mr. Howell from Gilligan's Island. I don't know why.
I will say, okay, so on the Ecamm side of things, somebody was asking what software we use, but we use Ecamm. And it's funny because I could see how many reactions we've got. So far, we have 20 thumbs up, 26 hearts, and 78 dying of laughter. I wonder why. And 24 shocked. So...
Wow. But
Shocked to find there's gambling in this establishment.
Who was it? Who was the? I don't want to say it was Buffer, but someone just came out with a study, and I just shared it in my Facebook group.
Yeah, it was Buffer and BuzzSumo.
BuzzSumo, that's what it was. And they showed that, like, I think combined for the love and the laugh, like the haha reactions on Facebook, that accounted for like 70-something% of reactions on Facebook. That most people are looking for that positivity. So like the laugh and the love. So I'm not surprised people are laughing at us because let's face it, we're just entertainment at the forefront.
That's true. Can I jump in with one more tool that I do use?
Yes.
No, Mike.
Yes, you may. Yes, you may.
Canada's been cut off. Thanks. I know I bring this up in pretty much every single video stream that we do, but chatbots.
Yeah! Chatbots are awesome.
We knew it was going to happen at some point. I was going to mention it. But yeah, using messenger marketing chatbots to frozen. I always freeze at the worst times. Messenger marketing chatbots to engage with people and to open up the opportunity for conversation. and to respond to people and keep that as, remember how earlier I was saying you need to give people the opportunity to engage in the platform that they're most comfortable with? Well, using messenger marketing chatbots is just switching on another tool or another channel, another opportunity for people to communicate with you on a platform that they're very comfortable with using. And we've seen Facebook Messenger completely explode over the last, I'd say, 2 years, with people becoming more comfortable using it as a mainstream messaging platform. And yeah, using chatbots to grow your audience and to deliver high quality content to people who are interested in you and keeping you top of mind it's been a game changer.
Good. Well, here's another question for the 360 crew. Who do you think is totally crushing it right now in terms of building their online communities?
Anybody else feeling like you are put on the spot?
Can I go?
Right? I'm like,
Okay.
all right.
So
Steph came prepared with the questions.
no, Mike was the one that wrote the questions, and I'm the one that literally messaged him, and I was like, Mike, were there questions that you had in mind? Because I just hit live. No, okay. So if we're talking about people that are building their communities and doing a really good job, I'm a huge fan of Kelly Noble Mirabella. She was on Lights Camera Live not so long ago, and she is like the freaking master maverick of messenger bot marketing that I know, in addition to Amanda. So I love you, Amanda. But she does this really cool thing in her group, which I did in my email, but I love that she brought it over to her group. And she does this thing where she keeps track of who her top 10 most engaged Facebook group members are, and then she gives them like $5 to go buy Starbucks. Brilliant. I think that is super, super smart. Like, I have that in my email where it's like, surprise, coffee is on me, as like my email thing. But if I were to do that in my group, right, where it's like, keep engaging because you will be rewarded, then I think that's super helpful. So now that I've given you like a good 2-minute buffer to come up with some ideas, and P.S. by the way, Mike totally sent you guys these questions, so don't act like I just, brought it up.
This is not a pop quiz for anybody.
I just totally did not prepare for the quiz. So I have 2 examples, and I use them in different ways, but they kind of relate to this. So one of them is actually Adobe, and on Instagram they change their profile every month, and they run campaigns for people to submit content. So it's very like UGC focused, but Adobe has obviously a huge suite of tools and functionality, and so they run a different campaign. So whether they want people to focus on a specific color or a specific type of editing or a specific medium or those sorts of things. And so they change it every month, and basically what happens is people just submit all of this content to them throughout the month for hopes of being picked as one of the featured pieces of art on their profile. So it ranges a whole spectrum, and it shows off all the creativity of what Adobe does, but it's growing their audience constantly because people are out, like normal people like us are out creating content, but then we're saying, here, like they're tagging the Adobe, hashtags, and they're talking about the fact that they entered this contest, or if they win, and they're telling other people in the artist community or in similar industries to them about it. And they use this, like I said, literally every month they change it out. So, obviously they're a big brand. They already have a big following, so it's not something where they're going to see, massive exponential growth comparatively, but it causes a steady growth and constant engagement. I think all of us would love in any business entity to have people send us content all the time, and they're having people submit content constantly because of the way they embrace it for their audience and as a way to build their audience and engagement.
I love that. User-generated content. Who would have thought? Anyone else want to add anything?
Yeah. Amanda, I'll let you go next if you want, because I have a couple in mind, and I don't want to take yours.
You know what, Mike? You can go ahead. You take
Okay.
it.
All right. Well, I have 2. The first, you all know Bella Vasta. Steph, she was on your show. She's amazing at literally building communities, right? We're talking about Facebook groups. But she's done the same. She's done the networking thing on all the platforms. But she is a true master when it comes to Facebook groups. She introduced us to group funnels. So definitely go back and watch Stephanie's interview of Bella, and then go follow Bella Vasta for sure. She's speaking at Social Media Marketing World and Social Media Week Lima probably, and some other events this year. The other one is Brian Kramer. I don't know how many of you know Brian Kramer, but he has a fantastic business and book and group, all based around this human-to-human idea of how we network and how we interact with each other. And his group's phenomenal. He's got moderators and people that help him with the group, and they come up with questions, and they're engaging. And we met some of them at Social Media Marketing World, I think 2 years ago. He had a party. It was fantastic. So he's really good also at building community, building groups.
Did you just humble brag the fact that you got invited to a very special party?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, but I was invited too, so I'm going to totally help.
Okay, go Jen.
All right, so I did have another example that she's also in our industry, but I've always admired how she does this, and it's so blatantly obvious, but it works. And it's Amy Porterfield. And Amy Porterfield has built a multi-million-dollar, and I'm talking like, you know, in the probably $50 million range or something. She's made so much money in online courses and whatnot. But what she does is when she goes to a conference, she speaks, or when she does a webinar or does any of these things, literally halfway through her presentation, she has a text and then, like, you know, the 5-digit number that you text something to get a free copy of something that augments what she's talking about in that webinar or that presentation. So it's the slide deck plus, you know, the actual step-by-step checklist to complete this, you know, whatever it is, the effort or whatever. But she literally will have a room with 250 people sitting in, and like half of them pull out their phones and text her, which means those people were not already on her list, and she already has a huge list. I mean, I don't even want to know how big her list is, because I'm like, that girl's probably got more names than, you know, any of us could ever imagine. But every time she does a webinar, a live training, anything, she does this tactic, and she's building her list every single time, because they're there to get free content. She's going to give them more free content, but it gets them on her list, and now she can work on the retargeting through the list to sell her courses and programs, which is where she makes her money.
Super smart. Love it, love it, love it. Amanda, do you have something? Go for it.
Yes. It took me a minute there. I'm drawing like a complete blank over here. Canada is just asleep over here. There are two people that I want to mention that they're not anything. Not that they're not anything. It's just a different ball game, but it goes back to kind of what I was saying before about putting the effort into the personal networking and reaching out to people and having discussions, having those one-on-ones, and growing a network of actual people who are actually engaged with your content and actually concerned with you. So I've seen two people. Do you guys know who Brian Wallace is?
No.
Brian Wallace is one of those people that.
Wait! Can I guess?
Yes.
Is that the dude that has the little thing that goes behind your phone from Social Media Marketing World?
No.
Oh, never mind then.
One. Anyhow, Brian Wallace runs
Sorry, you're wrong. Try again.
Mute Mike.
Brian Wallace runs an infographic company called Now Sourcing, where they do high-end infographics for businesses, and their company gets featured in every major publication you can imagine. But the thing is, I don't know Brian Wallace from infographics. I know Brian Wallace as a connector, as someone who connects other wonderful humans with other wonderful humans. He just seems to have this like Rolodex of amazing people that he just knows, and he connects it with other amazing people that need to know these people. He's just a connector, just one of those humans that just connects people in such a really amazing way. And that has been, I mean, that really has curated and created a very vibrant community and a very vibrant following for him. The other person that I'd like to mention is Michaela Alexis, who also a fellow Canadian. She's from Ottawa. She's very well known in the LinkedIn industry right now. And the way that she is networking with her community and with her audience and connecting with her audience, and again, it's just that more human to human. It doesn't come across with, it's not automation tools. It's not growing a huge following just for the sake of having the numbers. It's a person connecting with other people. So I think it's ironic that both of those people are very active in the LinkedIn communities. But anyhow, those are two names. If you don't know them, go and check them out and follow how they are networking with people and follow the conversations that they have with people, and just the fact that they're willing to lend a hand and help and just see how many positive interactions come out of that. So those are two people that I definitely respect in the industry as far as how they have been growing their following and growing them.
Very cool. All right, we have one question that we want to wrap up the show with, and it comes from Daniel Carey. And Daniel Carey says, public figure pages, 360 Marketing Squad, yes or no? What are your thoughts?
Can I jump in on this?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so a public figure page, the purpose of that, so when you create a business page on Facebook, you kind of get put into one of these like predefined categories, and those categories allow you access to different templates so that your Facebook page has different resources available to you as a business. If you are a public figure, you don't have a physical location or open hours or hours of operation. If you're a public figure, you don't deserve any downtime. I'm kidding. But you don't have a physical location or a business location, or you necessarily needing to promote your phone number or necessarily website. So when you register a public figure page, then you don't have to display those things. You might also be a public figure and have a business. So, I'm Amanda Robinson. I could create a public figure page for Amanda Robinson and then still run it like a business. But then I still have my digital gal, which is the business page. And that's where I run business through. So you can have a business page and a personal profile and have a public figure profile. So there's a use case for both. It does come down to your preference and how many pages you want to manage. And I've also seen, I remember when I was on Road to Social, road tripping with Brian Fanzo, Facebook automatically created a public figure page for him and automatically invited all of his followers to like the public figure page, which caused a complete breaking of the internet, uproar of people pissed off at him and just mad of how do you force me to like your business page? You didn't ask me. I'm unfollowing him. It was just this outrage and I've never seen that before, but it was Facebook saying that you have too many followers. So as a personal, if you keep getting friend requests and you don't accept those friend requests, then they automatically become a follower and they will see your public content. If you hit a threshold where you have too many public followers for a personal profile, Facebook's automatically making you a public figure page. Heads up.
Did not know that.
And that's where I think one of those things, I agree with everything Amanda just said, and I think that the public figures are good kind of solutions for people who, aren't necessarily wanting to use a full business page, or maybe they have a business page for the actual business entity, but they want something for them as a person. Now, I personally use Facebook as a personal account for personal use. I have 410 or whatever friends, and they're people that I've actually met in real life. They're people that I share photos of my daughter with and that sort of thing. I don't talk business on there at all. It's very much my personal environment, and I don't accept friend requests from people I don't know because it is a personal environment for me. So I've thought about doing the kind of public figure thing where I know people are following me and they're finding my name because I'm active in groups, and I run my own Facebook group, and people always want to friend me because they see me doing all this content. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing anything or professional on my personal account, so there's no reason for you to follow me. But then I feel bad because they're trying to connect with me in a way that I'm not able to respond. So in those situations, the public, profile can kind of, help with that in that capacity. But to Amanda's point, you have to be prepared to now manage another account. It's another place where you have to create content. It's another thing that you have to manage, and you're looking at analytics and is it working? And if it's right for you and you have the bandwidth to do it, absolutely it works. There are situations where maybe you're the CEO of a company and you have your company page and you have your LinkedIn profile, and you want something on Facebook where you can connect as your brand, but not as the company page. So you want to have that public figure in a way that you can get out there and put that the professional side of you out there without, again, inviting everyone into your personal life. So yes, it can work. And
I have to jump in on this and just give you one more reason why you need to do it. If you're so I am the opposite of Jen. I live my life extremely publicly. Everybody knows all my business, which is fine because I've kind of hit that point of I know that the internet knows everything about me, and I'm fine with it because the more I put myself out there into the universe, the more it attracts really amazing people back into my world. So that's my tactic, and it's worked very well for me. But why would you need a public figure page instead of just accepting all of these friend requests on your personal profile? If you're going to do business, if you're going to sell people anything, if you're going to do any form of business, You cannot do that on your personal profile. You're violating Facebook's terms of service, and you can get shut down. And you don't want to lose your personal Facebook again. You don't want to go into Facebook jail, okay? Nobody likes Facebook jail. But if you are growing a personal brand, if you have any intention of selling to these people, even if you already have a Facebook page, I'm going to use real estate agents as an example. A lot of realtors will be part of a real estate team, and they will have a real estate team page that they're a part of. Maybe there's 6 or 7 real estate agents within that team, and you have a business page. But as a realtor, you are still promoting your business things or your listings on your personal profile. You can't do that, or you'll get caught eventually. So that's where, as a realtor, maybe you want a public figure page as a real estate agent, in addition to you having access and use of your brokerages or your team's business page as well to leverage that. But I just really want to make sure everybody watching this is very, very clear. If you are trying to do business on your personal profile, that is a very big no-no in Facebook world, and you can get shut down. And that it is important for us as marketers too, because I will share business-related stuff on my personal profile, but I'm not trying to sell to my friends. I'm providing information and showing them from my business page. I'm showing them where they can go and find it. Or, hey, there's this really cool, exciting thing I'm working on, aka my Facebook ads course launch. But I'm not hammering out on my personal profile every single day with, ads and selling and all these different things, because I don't want to get put in Facebook jail.
Nobody wants to.
Nobody wants to be in Facebook jail.
No.
All right, you guys. Well, those were all of the questions that we had. There's probably something I missed because you guys were on fire today with all the the dying emojis and whatever and whatnot because something happened. Anyway.
That was all you.
Because something happened.
Something happened. And,
There was no lotion involved today.
Oh my God! All right,
I'm gonna reach back in this video, and I'm gonna find the timestamp when this happened, and I'm just going to start using that timestamp and just start hashtagging that timestamp on all my content. Just timestamp.
Yeah. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching another episode of 360 Marketing Squad. It's always a joy to hang out with you. If you guys are curious about what the 360 Marketing Squad is, Mike will tell you.
I love that.
We are the 360 Marketing Squad, the 4 of us. We have a private Facebook group where you can come in and you can learn from us on a one-to-one and a group-to-one basis. You can tune into live trainings. We've had live trainings every month since we launched. We've got another one coming up this month with Miss Stephanie Liu. And you can ask questions into the group. People are asking questions every single day, and they're getting all 4 of us chiming in with our own perspectives and our own knowledge. And the best part is all of that is just $5 a month. It's insane how cheap it is. You can join this group and you can learn from us for like a Starbucks a month. It is so cheap.
But it might be cheap, but the value is so good. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will catch up with you later. Bye.